Hey there. Welcome to Toy Talk with Mike and Chad, episode 90. I'm Mike,
I'm Chad.
and the toys that we're going to be talking about today are some new G.I. Joe classified figures. And I guess I should mention this is Casey, a semi regular guest on the show. She'll probably get bored soon enough and leave, but it's always nice to have her on.
Hey, buddy.
So yeah, welcome back.
Thank you. It's been an interesting long 2 months. I feel like we've hung out, but we haven't had a chance to film anything.
Yeah, it's been at least 2 months, probably 2.5 months since we shot an episode together. And I haven't even shot that many without you either.
Yeah,
I've talked about it on here already, but I'm a little bit over it right now.
yeah. It's I get the commitment that it takes to film those and edit it and upload it, and you're collecting, you're getting everything every couple of days, and it's just a lot of work.
It is, and I don't want to make too big a deal of it.
Yeah.
Like nobody needs me to do this. Nobody's asking me to do it. I do it of my own free will. But once I started it, I like to kind of commit to something for my few regular fans. So I try and keep a schedule. But yeah, sometimes it just feels a little overwhelming. And one of the big things that kind of gets me down is when I fall behind on my toys. This room, which is kind of my little sanctuary, I like to come down here and just enjoy my stuff. It gets so piled up with stuff. Like my desk is covered in stuff. These chairs are covered in stuff. This little table is covered in stuff. And it's because I buy things and I can't put them away until I do a video, and it just gets out of control sometimes. So you might notice it's kind of clean in here. The other day I just said, whatever, I'm putting everything away. I actually had to pull these guys off of the shelf, the guys that we're going to talk about today, because I had them all put away. I was like, I'm not going to let everything sit out all the time. So it felt good to clean, but at the same time, now it's going to be a pain in the ass to haul everything off of the shelves again. If I even do. Yeah. I just might not do it. So other than G.I. Joes, so this is going to be a G.I. Joe episode, but have you been buying anything else?
Nope. I haven't had much passive income to do that, so I mean, geez, there's been a lot of changes since the last time I was on. I quit my part-time job at the restaurant, so that really dipped into my spending money and whatever I could, and I just resigned from my full-time job at the Halifax Public Library System that I've been working at for 19 years. So awkwardly enough, my coworkers thought it was just to work on the Taekwondo business. Yeah. I actually got headhunted by a business firm in the construction and HVAC industry, and they gave me an opportunity. I decided to take a chance and jump. So I'll have about 10 days off before I start there, but I'm going to have 0 paychecks for probably almost a month. So I just went through and canceled a bunch of pre-orders and stuff that we're about to ship. And to be honest, I'm kind of not getting a lot of the same joy like I was pre-tariffs. I think that kind of spoiled it for me because, I used to be excited, and now prices are going through the roof. And are we going to get tariffs on something? Are we not? If Amazon doesn't have it, we're kind of stuck going to Big Bad Toy Store or hoping that our local EB Games gets it in. Or GameStop if you're in the States. It's it's tough, but I've enjoyed getting the last 15 Joes that we have.
Yep.
I'll still closet collect, but I can't be spending as frivolously as I was with action figures. So I've cut it down quite a bit in the last.
Yeah, I wish I could say that I have. I've been getting lots of stuff. I've got a bunch of Marvel Legends in recently. I've got a bunch of Transformers. And a bunch of these G.I. Joes. And there's still a lot of things on my pre-orders. And I'm not sure what the status of a lot of these things is. I've talked about it on this channel a couple times, but I pre-ordered a Red Sonja figure from Boss Fight Studios.
Yeah.
I think it was originally supposed to come out in April. And literally, I pre-ordered it from GameStop, and every week like the date changes now. They just push it ahead 7 days. Like street date is now September 12th, and then the 12th will come and it's like now it's the 19th, and they've just been doing that for like 6 months. And I've got a few things like that. I've got some Haya Toys Godzilla's figures. I've got some Super 7 Ultimates figures, and the dates just keep sliding. So I don't know when those are actually going to show up, which is a little scary because when you're trying to budget, and the more of these things that start sliding down, they're kind of piling up.
It snowballs to.
And I don't know if one day I'm just going to get an email that's like, all these items are now ready to ship or whatever, and I'm just going to, eeks. So, and yeah, we're kind of feeling that a little bit with these Joes.
Yeah, this is the first time we've had Joes like on a steady.
Yeah, the first half of the year was really quiet.
Very quiet.
I think we got 4 G.I. Joes the first 6 months.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know how many.
July
we've got like 10 or more here today, and there's still a bunch more on pre-order. So, yeah. Lots of Joes, lots of stuff. I don't know. Should we just...
let's just dive in.
Let's dive in. All right. So, this is kind of... There's a couple of like waves in here, but there's also some deluxes and some store exclusives. I'm just going to grab whatever. I've got them all on a little table here. So, why don't we start with this exclusive, maybe?
Okay.
So, this here is Crystal Ball. So he was a Walmart CollectorCon exclusive. And before we get into him, Casey now wants to get out of the room. Do you mind letting Casey out? So yeah, Crystal Ball. We both managed to get him from Walmart. I think he is sold out.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen a lot of people online complaining, saying that their orders didn't get fulfilled. And unfortunately, my brother is one of those guys. Because when I pre-order G.I. Joes, a lot of times I order 3. I order one for me, one for you, one for Doug. And with this Walmart CollectorCon, you could only have 2 per customer. So I ordered ours, and I called my brother, and I said, if you want Crystal Ball, you better order them, because he'll probably sell out fast. So my brother ordered them the same day, like within the hour that we ordered ours. And then a couple weeks ago, we got an email that said, your Crystal Ball has shipped. Doug got an email the same day. And then later that afternoon, my Crystal Balls showed up on the doorstep. And I called my brother. I'm like, did you get your Crystal Ball? And he's like, no, it didn't show up. And then weeks have gone by. He's been chasing down somebody at Walmart, chasing down somebody at the shipping company. And they basically just responded to him like, yeah, it must have got lost. And so, yeah, Walmart, I think, refunded him the money. And, you know, for an exclusive that you can't get anywhere except Walmart, it doesn't help you a whole lot when Walmart says, here's your money back. Like, it's kind of bullshit that they lost this on him. But anyway, what are your thoughts on old Crystal Ball here?
I'll speak to Crystal Ball, not to my hatred for Walmart pre-orders.
Yeah.
I don't really remember this guy quite a bit. All I remember is this is not what he looked like in the retro line, and he was some sort of gypsy.
Yeah, like... I like this guy quite a bit, but I don't think he was ever... I don't know if he ever appeared in the cartoon, and I don't think he ever did much in the Marvel comic books.
Yeah.
They actually did some really cool stuff with him in the IDW G.I. Joe comic books.
Okay.
And he had, like, long hair, and he was kind of more of, like, a... like, tied to, like, old gods, and, like, he was, like, a cult leader and stuff. And I think they borrowed a little bit of that IDW into this figure.
To make this figure. I like him. I think it's cool. I like the color dynamic of the weapon and the shield, like the two-tone, what's that, green? See-through green?
Yeah, he's got this translucent green accessories, which he never had before. Like the original one from the original line, which I want to say was maybe 88 that he came out, maybe 87. But yeah, he was like this half gypsy mystic, and his whole thing was mind control. He could hypnotize you, so he came with what they call the Hypno Shield, which was like a disc he wore on his arm that had like a lenticular sticker, and it just had like a spiral on it. So when you tilted it, the spiral kind of moved, and that was supposed to hypnotize you. The artwork on the packaging was really cool. He looked really creepy coming at you with his Hypno Shield. And I don't remember the specifics, but I think there was some tie to Stephen King. I think it might have been Stephen King's son or something that wrote his file card. Or
okay.
There was some connection to Stephen King back in the day. And yeah, he got an updated figure in the 4-inch line, which I thought he looked a little too cartoonish in the 4-inch line. And so I was kind of hoping they would get back to his like creepy factor a little bit more to the original figure. I think they've gone too far in the hipster direction here.
Yeah, like you can't really pull off the jacket, but to me it looks like he's wearing some sort of like V-neck style undershirt with that chest hair and tattoos. Yeah,
Maybe. Yeah.
tattoos on his chest. A short. Is that part of the jacket? Yeah, a short sleeve jacket.
I think it's maybe a sleeveless jacket, and then he's got some sort of armor
Something
underneath.
Okay.
But yeah, he never had a jacket before. He always had just a vest.
Yeah.
I don't mind the jacket. The biggest problem I have with him now is the eye makeup. He never had eye makeup before.
It just looks like he was crying a lot and his mascara was running.
Yeah, and he's also got like his eyes are kind of weird, like red pupils or something. And he's got the little smile. I feel like he looks, I don't know, maybe too young. I don't know. It's not quite what I was hoping for. It's not a bad figure, but if I found out they're going to do a retro card crystal ball sometime down the road, I would be happy to get a retro version, which would be closer to the old toy. And I also hope they do that for my brother's sake, so he can
so he can get one. That's unfortunate.
Now, so some cool thing they've done with him now is so he does have this sword, which he never had before. In the vintage toy, his only accessory, I believe, was the Hypno Shield. But now he's got this sword with this translucent like energy, and his shield. He still has the lenticular shield, which instead of a swirl, now it's got like a skull with snakes in it. Oh shit! So skull, snakes in it, swirling around there. And then he's got this translucent green piece with snakes that you can snap over it, which kind of gives you options for the shield. And then the other real thing of note, and this is what I said kind of ties back to the IDW comic book where he kind of was, worshiping these old gods and stuff, is he's got this weird alternate head, which is like a translucent green, like Cthulhu head with horns. Now, at first I thought this was a mask when I saw it advertised, but it is a whole, you have to pop his head off and replace it with that. So, it's a little strange. Even though it's a cool head, I can't imagine displaying my only crystal ball with this weird monster head. But it'd be cool if I could find a place for this somewhere down the road. But, yeah, he's cool. Not bad. Not my favorite of this batch, but he's alright. Maybe we'll talk about this guy. So this was a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. Now, I'm happy to get Cobra Troopers. Every time they want to give me a spin on a Cobra Trooper, that's cool. Alley Viper is a Cobra Trooper that I like quite a bit. And there is precedent for there being multiple repaints of the Alley Viper. This repaint is, I think, pretty original. It's not really based off of a vintage variation of the Alley Viper. But they didn't call him Alley Viper, even though it is an Alley Viper. They called this guy a Trench Viper. So the Alley Viper is Cobra's like urban assault trooper. So this is another variation of that. He's got this kind of urban digital camo. He's got this riot shield. He's got this riot faceplate that slides down, just like the original Alley Viper we got in the line.
I quite like this figure.
He's cool, but here's the thing, and we talked about this after the fact, but he came with this, which is this bunker. So it's this blue, like, 3-walled bunker, and my sister's calling me, so I think I'll have to pause for a moment. What? Hello.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
Where are you?
I'm home shooting a video.
Oh,
you
sorry.
just crashed the video.
Sorry.
You want to say hi to the hundreds of viewers at home?
Hi, viewers.
Anyway, what's up?
Was our conversation being recorded?
I'm going to edit this out, don't worry.
Okay. All right. Well, I won't keep you. You can get back to your recording.
All right.
Okay. Hey, if you ever need a guest, you can always call me.
You want to do a guest spot?
Sure.
Do you have any toys to talk about?
I don't, but you could teach me.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have you on sometime. Doug won't come on, so yeah, I'll bring you.
Well, sure, I'll probably get you more viewers.
Yeah, well, I'm not having you on here showing any skin or anything.
No shit. All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, see ya.
All right,
Bye.
bye.
Anyway, the bunker. So he came with this bunker. This was kind of a modular thing, although there was only so much you could really do with it. You snap the 4 walls onto the floor, and then you put the ceiling on. It came with 2 ladders. I don't know why you needed 2. So I've got one here on the back. And it came with a machine gun. But the machine gun just kind of floats in the middle on this like tripod. I kind of wish it locked into place because it just kind of rattles around loose in here. And it pokes out the front of one of these little like holes. And it's got like a weapons rack in here, but otherwise there's not much detail. There's a little searchlight and a little radar dish or something on the top here.
I have a guess
Yeah.
as to why it maybe came with 2 ladders. It has little pegs in here. Do you think that the next one we're getting would be able to peg into top?
You do. They advertise this thing as modular, that people can stack them and put them beside each other so you could build like a little base. But every one of these you get,
It's
you
gonna
would
come with a
ladder. So if you build the second one on top, you could put the second ladder. I don't know why you would ever need 2 ladders for the one. It also came with what else have I got here? There's an extra turret for like the machine gun, but you would only ever need one. I don't know what you're supposed to do with the other like kind of tripod there. And then some extra little snap together pieces. I don't really know what they're all for. Now, there was a Cobra battle bunker when I was a kid that me and my brother had, and it was a cool little thing. It was like a little base. It was rounded instead of rectangular, and it didn't snap together well because the intent was you were supposed to throw a missile at it and it would like blow up. It was kind of a cool little base. But when it comes to this, like this set was like what, almost like $100 or something.
Yeah,
it might even been more than that.
I think it was more.
Yeah, and I have no use for this. Like, if I played with my G.I. Joes, sure, it would be fun to have a little bunker to hide up in the mountains and he could snipe at my G.I. Joes. But where my figures are just all displayed, standing up, this takes up a lot of room on a shelf, and it doesn't really do much. And I can't even display him in here because then you can't even see him. Well, he fits in there, but...
Yeah, okay, well, he's on the stand.
But if I put him in there, then you don't even see the figure, which is why I bought this set. So, when this thing was about to come due, and I knew it was going to charge my credit card, and then it would ship, I was like, maybe I should cancel this. And I hate doing that, but like you, I'm in it's a different world now, these financial times. I'm trying to be a little more careful. And I was like, for a set that's like $100, really I only want the $30 figure. Yeah. So I'm paying like $70 or something for this stupid thing, which is basically not necessarily garbage, but I might end up putting it in my like fodder bin, and I'll never see it again. And it's not like he's like a vital figure. He's a repaint of a character I already have twice, because we have the red and gray one or something. And this isn't even based on a repaint from when I was a kid that I'm nostalgic for. So I really thought I probably could have skipped this. But I ordered ours together. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know if I can cancel just one from the order. I might have to cancel the whole order. So I was going to ask you, like, what are your thoughts on canceling this? But before I got a hold of you, it shipped and charged.
Yeah.
So we got it.
I think we decided that if we actually liked this one, we would keep it and cancel the next one. I don't even know where we landed on about that.
Well, we haven't discussed it yet.
Exactly.
So, it's a shame because if I was to cancel one of the two, I think I would have canceled this one. I don't think he is interesting enough of a repaint. I find him kind of bland. Mm-hmm. Whereas the other set we're talking about is an upcoming G.I. Joe set that has a different bunker that's more like heroic colors. I think it's like green and silver and stuff. And it comes with a repaint of the Steel Brigade Trooper. And I think it's more interesting to get a repaint of the Steel Brigade. But yeah, I really am. I'm not sure where I'm going to land if we should cancel that or not. So what do you think?
Depends when it's coming out.
I think November
Yeah.
maybe, but
I mean, mind you, if it's in November, that's still quite a while away. We can
yeah.
maybe talk about it and decide closer to the date. Was that Hasbro Pulse too?
Yes, they're both
Exclusive?
Hasbro Pulse exclusives. Like I said, it's not a bad set at all. It's just, yeah, when you're trying to tighten the belt, and some of these vehicles that have been coming out, like they just recently did the Snowcat HasLab. I had the Snowcat when I was a kid. It was one of my favorite vehicles. But these G.I. Joe vehicles are huge. Like I already have the tank and the helicopter, and plus 2 Jeeps.
Yeah.
Plus what else? A couple of missile launchers.
The Ostriker
Uh,
coming.
yeah. So there's all these vehicles, and so I skipped the last 2. I didn't buy the jet, the Rattler jet, and I didn't buy
Snowcat.
the Snowcat. Now, fortunately for me, the figures with these vehicles weren't necessarily must-haves. The Hiss Tank HasLab, when you bought that, which is a big old tank, and it was like $500, but it came with 3 or 4 Hiss pilots.
Yep.
Which I love the Hiss pilot, so I wanted them in all the different colors. Plus, it came with a really cool Cobra Commander. So that set kind of justified the price for me. When it came to the helicopter, that came with 4 unique figures, and I wanted all 4 of those figures. But when it came to the Rattler, I wanted Wild Weasel, but I didn't necessarily need the other ones. And now with the Snowcat, I really wanted Frostbite, but I didn't need the other figures. So, we're not completely nuts spending all of our money, on everything. I have to kind of weigh out, does this make sense? And I think even though this thing wasn't nearly as expensive as the Snowcat, if I had done the equation a little better, I would have said, you know what, I think
You could pass on
the price outweighs my want, my desire for this thing. So I probably could have canceled that. There's a couple other things, a couple other expensive items that kind of fall into that same camp, which we've got the Snake Eyes and Polar Bear 2-pack, which is coming out like next week. And again, I like that Snake Eyes, but we're mostly paying for the Polar Bear.
Yeah.
And do I need a Polar Bear? I don't know.
It's cool, but yeah.
Like, I've got quite a few animals now. We've got an animal here we're going to talk about. And, my shelf is starting to get a little carried away almost with the animals. And the Polar Bear isn't even a character. At least these dogs that we're going to talk about, they were
Characters.
named characters.
Yeah.
This is just a wild Polar Bear that, Snake Eyes fought for like a second in the cartoon one time. But there's the Night Force 2-pack with Beachhead and Quick Kick. Again, it's cool, and I bought it just because it came out, and I feel like I had to compulsively. But it's not as good as the regular Beachhead or as good as the regular Quick Kick. Do I need it? I don't know. Then there's the Steel Brigade pack. I don't know. I'll probably end up buying all this stuff, but I'm questioning it. I'm questioning. What else? Move on to. So this figure was part of a wave of I think 4 figures, but they got released kind of staggered.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, this here is Blowtorch, the G.I. Joe flamethrower trooper. Any thoughts on Blowtorch?
I think he's sick. I love this figure.
Did you have him as a kid or anything?
I did not, but I had a friend that had him. I love any characters with huge guns like this. The costume's super cool. I don't really remember this guy too much because I didn't own him, but
he's probably most well known nowadays for the pork chop sandwiches.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah,
I didn't want to say that, but yeah, that's how I remember him.
For those of you in the know, in the old G.I. Joe cartoon of the 80s, at the end of every episode, there was a little public service message where a G.I. Joe would run and teach a lesson or something. Like, don't talk to strangers, or don't go on thin ice, or don't play with electrical wires and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, I don't know when this happened. It was like the
early 2000s,
the dawn of the internet.
Yeah,
basically before YouTube even existed.
Yeah,
some guy somewhere took all those PSAs and he redubbed them with ridiculous dialogue, and they kind of went viral.
Yeah,
before going viral was even a thing. So if you look up the GI Joe PSAs
On YouTube.
on YouTube. Yeah, you'll find them, and one of the most popular ones was him. His PSA was that some kids were cooking,
Yeah.
and they started a fire on their oven. So of course, this guy Blowtorch, he comes running and he says, "You kids shouldn't play with fire." or
Well,
whatever.
that's not quite how it went.
But then in the redub version, they're cooking over the oven. He comes running down the hallway saying, "Do I smell pork chop sandwiches or whatever?" And anyway, they're funnier than I'm doing them justice. But
yeah, no, this one is a classic character.
yeah, first released in 1984, so pretty early on in the line.
I just dig it. Like, I reread Fahrenheit 451 a couple weeks ago, and I don't know if you're familiar with that story, but it's in the future. It's a dystopian world where firefighters actually torch books, so they're not allowed to have books. Books are banned. They don't want people learning, and it has squads of these guys going around just torching books.
Yeah.
Gives me that vibe.
Yeah, you don't see a whole lot of flamethrowers these days. Although the movie Ballerina that came out this year, if you haven't seen that, check it out. There's an awesome flamethrower fight in that movie. But yeah, he came with a couple of different flame effects. I think so. I've got just the little teeny little fire, the little flame coming out, but you can give him this much larger flame effect. I went with the small one just because it's easier to fit him on the shelf. Yeah. But yeah, so that's cool. I like this guy, although when I look at him, I feel like this is a retro card figure waiting to happen, because this is probably a little bit more realistic take. Although I don't know if Flamethrower Troopers ever wore anything yellow and red like this. It's probably completely fabricated. But the original toy in '84 was bright canary yellow with really bright red, and so this is a much more subdued color scheme. And I don't really mind that the colors are darker, but I don't love that the mask is black. Mm-hmm. Again, that's probably more realistic, but the vintage one had a yellow mask too. That I could definitely see them redoing this on a retro card in the bright colors with the yellow mask. So yeah, this figure is great. I love that he's got a removable helmet and a mask. The original one did too, but I feel with the 6-inch figures, you can get so much more personality in the faces. Like, he looks like a real person now. He looks like a unique guy, even though I'll probably never display him without the helmet, unless of course they make a retro card one. Then I can put the retro card one in his mask, and this guy I can display without the mask on. But as it stands, he's going to be on display like this, looking pretty cool. All right, why don't you grab one to start talking?
Link. Now, for any of our loyal followers, you've probably heard me talk about this a couple of times. This one was on my most wanted list for the last couple of years, ever since I started onto the G.I. Joe classified line.
Yep.
It is the Battle Armoured Cobra Commander. I did have this one as a kid. He was actually one of my very first G.I. Joes. I like it. I know you have some mixed opinions about it. To me, does it look exactly like it? No. I think I can see this coming back as a retro card for sure.
Well, like a lot of the classified figures, they're trying to go for a little bit more realistic. So the colors they match the vintage one, except they're just more subdued.
Yeah.
Like, he's got this nice kind of cobra blue outfit, whereas the original one was almost like an aqua teal or something. And this has got like kind of a flat gunmetal gray, where the other one was more like a
vac metal shiny.
It wasn't vac metal, but it was like a nice shiny silver paint. This one looks almost like dull in comparison. I like this figure. I'm glad we got it. I had this Cobra Commander when I was a kid, but my older brother Doug, he had version 1 with the the shield on his face, and he had version 2 with the hood. So for the first many years of us playing G.I. Joe, my brother always got to be Cobra Commander. But then when the armor version came out, then I finally got to use Cobra Commander for myself. So I do have some, nostalgic fondness for this look. Although Cobra Commander will forever be in the face shield.
Yeah, 100%.
But my main beef, and my only beef with this figure really, is the helmet.
Mhm.
Is I have this figure. So in the vintage figure from the 80s, the helmet was sculpted on him. But in the comic books, they did an interesting storyline with this. Was Cobra Commander paid one of his Crimson Guardsmen to build him a new suit of armor. His Crimson Guardsmen, who are supposed to be Cobra Commander's most loyal soldiers, built him this suit of armor. Cobra Commander got to try it on once, but then his Crimson Guardsman, Fred, shot him in the back and killed him. And he put on this suit, which hid his voice and stuff. And he went to Cobra and said, "Hey guys, I'm back. I'm Cobra Commander." And Cobra accepted him into their ranks as Cobra Commander. So basically, the whole time that he was wearing this suit in the comic books, he was an imposter. Mm-hmm. He was Fred, the Crimson Guardsman. The original Cobra Commander did come back later, but when he did, he wore the hood from the old days. So my associations with this guy are
Fred.
I think of him as Fred, not really Cobra Commander. Now, in the cartoon series, I think Cobra Commander himself wore this suit, but I never saw those episodes of the cartoon because, it was weird. When I was a kid, I grew up watching the Sunbow cartoons, and Sunbow did a very high-quality G.I. Joe cartoon. And then they did the G.I. Joe animated movie, where Cobra Commander turned into a snake. We've previously reviewed the Cobra Commander snake action figure. And then the show, as far as I knew, ended because I never saw another episode of G.I. Joe again. But apparently another company named Deke picked up the license and they continued the storyline, but they did a much shittier, low-quality cartoon. It was more juvenile than even the other cartoon, and it didn't air. I don't know if it didn't air anywhere in Canada, but it certainly didn't air anywhere where I lived. So I didn't even know that thing existed till decades later.
The internet.
So apparently, in the early episodes of the Deke cartoon, Cobra Commander came back from being a snake into a snake man, and he got this armor, which, in my little bucket of accessories here somewhere. Yeah, so he's got an alternate head. And now this one here, he's got the snake eyes. He's got snake eyes, so you can see through his eye holes, and he's got this green skin with little blue eyes with little slits, like reptilian eyes. Because I think that's how he looked in the cartoon when he wore this armor. So this head is a nod to the Deke cartoon, where this head with the human eyes coming through is more a nod to the comic books. No, because he never wore this in Sunbow.
Right. Yeah.
Now another thing, I don't know where it went. He came with an iguana.
Oh yeah.
Which I thought was weird. It's a cool little accessory. It's got articulated arms and everything. I don't know where. He's over there somewhere. But he's just iguana. He's a good size. And I'm like, I don't know why he comes with this. But when I posted on Instagram, somebody in the comments told me that's also from the Deke cartoon, and he turned Serpentor into a lizard or something.
Okay.
So I think that lizard is supposed to be Serpentor. That he shot him with a mutation ray or something. Anyway.
Right. Okay.
So whatever. It's a cool lizard, regardless whether it's Serpentor or not. But yeah, so going back to my gripe about this is when they redid this figure in the early 2000s, they gave him a removable helmet, and he had Fred's face underneath. Because Fred has this red hair that's kind of parted on the side and stuff, which was clearly Fred and not Cobra Commander. So I thought, wow, that's really cool that they're acknowledging that comic book storyline. And then even when they did the 4-inch figures of this, the helmet still came off, except instead of giving us a Fred head, they gave us a ski mask or balaclava. So even if that was Cobra Commander or Fred, at least it had the removable helmet.
Okay.
So the fact that even as far as going back as far as 2002, 2003, they were giving us removable helmets. I don't understand why this guy doesn't have a removable helmet, or at the very least an alternate head, like an unmasked head.
I mean, I think it's cool that they do the nod to the Deke cartoon and also the comic book.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would tend to agree with you more there that it would make sense to have, just a straight head. If you're clearly doing the nods, it would have made sense to give a Fred head.
Yeah, I would have really liked a Fred head, but
alas, all the Crimson Guards are Freds, right?
Yeah, it's a little convoluted. He has series of Crimson Guardsmen.
Mm.
And so he makes, when he has let's just say he hires a group of Crimson Guardsmen, he makes them all get plastic surgery so they all look identical.
Yeah.
And they go out in the world, and if any of them get like killed or something, then he can put somebody in their place, and that person just takes over that guy's family and everything like that. And there was a series of Crimson Guardsmen called the Fred series.
Yes.
So not every Crimson Guardman looks like Fred, but like a series of them do, and then another series of guys might have black hair, and another series of guys have mustaches. I don't know, but yeah. So he was a Fred series Crimson Guards. Anyway, what else we got? Here's another one that I maybe shouldn't have bought. So this here was another Hasbro Pulse exclusive. I don't even remember what they call her. Cobra Pilot, maybe.
Pilot, I think.
So this is a female Cobra Trooper. She came with 3 different heads. So one of them, you can just see her eyes. So she's got an African American one and a Caucasian one. Or there's a head with just a full goggle gas mask, so you can't see the skin tone or anything. And then she's got this kind of removable helmet top. So I've got her displayed with the African American head and the red helmet top. But otherwise, this is basically the exact same figure we've gotten a couple of times now.
Yeah, the Valkyries and
because they did and she's not standing on her display base very well.
Oh my god, what was the ferret?
Yeah, so we got the little ATV.
Yeah,
and it came with a female driver, and we've got the female 2-pack and the Valkyries, and so they've repainted that same figure again, and now they're giving us her. And she came with the Cobra Claw, which is the classic Cobra glider. This first came out, I think, in 83. It might have been, I was possibly even 82, but I think it was 83. So this is a really vintage vehicle. I have the original one. They did a couple more versions in the 4-inch line, and they did them in alternate colors, so you can get it in red and I think blue. So I have some of those. And even though it's a classic vehicle, it's never been one of my favorite vehicles. It's a glider, it's not super cool, and it's hard to display.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't stand upright like this. So to display it on your shelf, you just kind of have to lay it flat like this. And it takes up a lot of room. Now, you can hang it from your ceiling, but I don't really like to do that. So now I have this thing, and I don't really know what to do with it. Again, if I played with my toys, I'd have a blast flying this thing around my room. But I don't. It's just going to go on display somewhere, and I don't know how to display it. That it might go in a spare parts bin, just like the bunker. So this set, I don't know how expensive it was compared to the bunker. I think they were comparable. But for me, I don't need this, and I don't need her. I already have female troopers. This is not a redo of a vintage character or anything. So even though it's a nice repaint, and I totally would have bought it on its own,
not necessary.
I kind of felt a little bit of buyer's remorse once this set showed up. Anyway, what are your thoughts?
Well, I love my Cobra Troopers. She's definitely going to fill out the female squads that I've started building. But, like you, there's nowhere to display that. And I know we were talking before about, display bases. Why did this one come with a display base in a normal box? The only thing I can think of is maybe the weight to keep the glider on.
As you can see, she would barely stay on her stand. She was falling off of this thing as I was fidgeting with her. So she definitely, because even though there's a harness on that, you definitely couldn't stand her upright and have her support the weight of that. So that's the thing. I'm going to display her on my shelf, like so, and that thing there, it's going to go in a bin.
Never to be seen again or admired.
Yeah, probably not. So that's kind of a bummer. And getting these two figures so close together, it really does make me second guess about, do you really need to order everything as soon as it comes out? Maybe take a minute. So, because I'll especially be kicking myself. I think the Trench Viper is sold out with the bunker.
Yes.
I'm not sure about her with the glider. It might be sold out as well, which is another thing to consider before we cancel, the Steel Brigade. But if these things are still on there and they end up for sale for 30% off at Christmas time or something, then I'll be kicking myself even more, and maybe that's a good reason to hold off on the Steel Brigade. All right, well, we should move forward because we've still got a lot of figures to talk about here.
Yeah.
We're wasting a lot of
time. These two will get knocked off around the same time, though.
All right.
So this is the G.I. Joe and the Cobra version of the divers.
Came in a 2-pack.
Came in a 2-pack. I dig them. I think, the unnamed figures are cool.
Yep.
This guy's face...
There's alternate faces. I've got some of those here.
Definitely Torpedo, just repainted.
So you've got, for each figure, you've got a white or black face, depending on how you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my G.I. Joe displayed with the African-American face, and my Cobra displayed with the Caucasian. And yeah, they came with a lot of accessories.
Yeah.
Like, they both came with flippers and backpacks, and they came with breathers, which I don't have on them right now. They came with, I think, 3 or 4 guns each. They came with an element to power the mass device, which we'll maybe talk about a little bit later, which is kind of a cool little accessory. They came with what are those dart
Spear guns.
Spear guns. This guy's got one of those little
propeller
navigator puller thingamajigs. Now, most of it's all stuff we saw already.
Yep.
Because we have the Cobra Eel, and we have the Cobra Diver.
We have Torpedo.
And we also have the Nameless.
And the Nameless.
What is it? The 60th anniversary diver.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've seen all this stuff before. But it's a solid figure.
Yeah.
I personally, I love these.
I love them, yeah. It's nice to get these, like, troop builders, but it sets them apart from the others because they don't have a name. They don't have a specific purpose, They're nice army builders.
Yeah, and in the cartoons, now I can't remember off the top of my head how often they appeared. Maybe it was just the one time. But there was specifically a mini-series in the cartoon when the G.I. Joes and the Cobras were racing to get all these rare elements to power the mass device. So they had to go to an Arctic environment and like a jungle environment. And one of the this rare mineral, which I think was called like heavy water or something. Anyway, this was at the bottom of the ocean. And so sure, there was some named Joes like Duke and named Cobras like Baroness, and they had to go get it. But there was all these other Joes and Cobras kind of in the scene too. And the Joes all wore like these yellow diver outfits, and the Cobras all wore these red outfits. And they looked cool, but like it's one of those things where like, okay, here they are in the cartoon in the 80s, but there was no representation of these guys in the 80s toy line. Just like the G.I. Joe green shirts.
Yeah.
There were scenes in the cartoon where you'd see G.I. Joe had these like nameless troopers just wearing green outfits, but they never got a toy until much, much later. So we actually did get both of these divers in the 4-inch line for the first time, the red and yellow divers. And I was really happy to get them then. And I'm just as happy to get them now.
Yeah, they're really nice. At first, when I picked up the pack from you, I was kind of like, well, I don't know how I feel about them. They have grown on me.
Yeah, I like them better than the 60th anniversary.
Yeah, that was my thought too.
Yeah, the 60th anniversary diver, which was the same figure, but it was painted in just all black.
Yeah.
Which is probably the most realistic of everybody, but it's kind of bland, and Torpedo was already black and gray, right. So these guys are much more vibrant. They really pop on a shelf. And, yeah. Again, it's one of those toys that, I wish I had them when I was young. I'd love to take those guys in the bathtub. But,
well,
I still could, I know.
Yeah, it might be a little weird.
My wife would judge me.
If we want to stick with, like, the nameless guys...
Yeah.
Let's go on to the Firefighter.
Yeah, so this, I think they just call it the 60th anniversary Firefighter.
I dig it.
Me too. So this guy is kind of more of an homage to the... I don't think they had a Firefighter in the 1960s, but like when they kept making the 12-inch G.I. Joe dolls like into the later decades, they would make different outfits like this. And so yeah, it's a little weird sometimes to get a nameless fireman. Like, why couldn't they just call him... In my mind, I've been calling him Backdraft. That's the code name I gave him. But, yeah, it's just like to my surprise, I actually really love this figure too.
Yeah.
This guy could be a contender for me for my best of the year list. Because he came with so much stuff. Like, he came with the
Jaws
of Life here. Yeah. He came with like a fire blanket. He came with multiple, I think there was multiple heads and... So at least 2 heads. So yeah, he's got an African American and a white head as well. He's got the helmet. He's got an optional like breather. He's got multiple axes and like hoses, and he just came loaded with stuff. And he looks great. So I don't know how. This is how I've been displaying him since I got him. And I don't even know if this is. I almost think that this looks more like an Asian
I was thinking the same thing. Not that there's
Yeah, that's fine.
anything wrong with that. It's
In
just
fact, it's kind of a nice change because I think it's great that they give you a white guy and a black guy head option with a lot of figures now. But now I've got a lot of white guys and a lot of black guys. It's like, yeah, throw in an Asian guy every once in a while. And like, so I think that's what this guy is. He kind of looks Asian, which is cool. So I have him displayed with the Asian head, which is kind of why, even though he looks really cool with the breather on, I kind of wanted to
show the face.
show his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the paint on this guy, the reflective kind of paint in there. He looks.
They just nailed it with this one.
Yeah, he looks awesome.
Looks like a real firefighter.
Now there was when at the same time they were advertising this guy, they were advertising a cop, a SWAT guy.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what happened to him because he was up for they were both listed as going up for pre-order next week, and then he went up, and the other guy never did.
Just disappeared.
And that was months ago.
Yeah.
That I have heard, and this is probably just speculation because I can't imagine Hasbro would have put this out officially or anything. But somebody had said it was right around the time when they started sending out ICE agents, and cops are maybe not seen in the most favorable light right now, and maybe Hasbro thought this is not a great time to put out a contemporary-looking SWAT police officer out for sale. But that's probably complete speculation, but it kind of makes sense too because I don't know why else he would have just disappeared like that. But hopefully we get him sooner than later because he looked really good too. All right. Yeah, go for it.
Breaker. Now, we disagreed on this one.
I can't remember. What did we disagree about?
When you got these for us, I remember just saying that I like the one that came with the bike. You said you like this one a little more.
I do like this better.
My opinion kind of changed because, I don't have as much G.I. Joe knowledge as you do. I never will. But, looking at older pictures and, yojo.com, and you can see, what they look like through the ages and stuff, I've come to respect it a lot more, and I wasn't sold on the bubblegum mouth, but I actually think that's kind of cool now. He's just a cool looking dude, likes to chew his gum.
Breaker that was his thing. In the if you look at some of those old character guides and stuff from the 80s, he's often got a bubble.
Yeah.
In the comic books, he was often drawn with a bubble in his mouth. Even in the Rise of Cobra movie.
Yeah.
At one point, Duke has some gum, and
Yeah.
Breaker says, "Hey, is that Hubba Bubba?" And he takes his last piece, and there's just a little nod to Breaker eating the gum. So yeah, this is a cool that he's got an alternate head with a bubblegum bubble attached to his face.
I've been going through, anytime I get a new character, or one that I can't really remember, I'm going through that website and trying to find source material of the figure. So once I saw that, that was in a couple of comics, it was in the cartoon, it was in the movie, okay, that's doable for me.
Yeah, plus the fact that he's in a gray outfit this time.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a lot of talk. I talk all the time about the original 13 Joes. Because back in 1982, when G.I. Joe first came out, there was a couple standouts that looked different, like Snake Eyes and Scarlet and Stalker.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, the other 10 G.I. Joes were all these, plain green army men. And to come in budget, I guess, Hasbro reused a lot of parts. So a lot of them have the same head. A lot of them have the exact same bodies, the same legs, arms, same accessories. So they all looked pretty generic, which, I was fine with that. I liked that they looked like a cohesive team. But in the comic books and the cartoons, where it didn't matter budget-wise if they all used the same parts or not, they tried to find ways to differentiate the characters.
Yes.
So Breaker often appeared in gray in the cartoons and the comic books even, I think. Short Fuse, they gave him glasses, which he didn't have in the original toy. Zap, they gave a mustache, which he didn't have in the toy. So even though when they redo a Zap, they haven't done Zap yet in the classified line. But it's fine if they do him without a mustache because that'll be more true to the original toy. But I also kind of want the version with the mustache that I know from the cartoon that made him more unique. And so even though I was happy that we got what I'll call an original 13 Breaker in the green, this one here is a more unique variation of Breaker. And a pleasant surprise to me was that I thought when they first advertised this new Breaker in the gray that it was going to be a repaint of the other breaker
Yeah,
we
the
got.
breaker, but it's different.
He's completely different.
Yeah.
He might have the same legs or something. I'm looking at him up there, but his head is totally different sculpt. His helmet is different. His arms, his web gear, his accessories. So yeah, they went back to the drawing board for this breaker.
And that's part of the reason that changed my mind, because like a repaint is a repaint is a repaint.
Yeah.
You can buy them all day. Where we've been talking about, buyer's remorse, and that's actually worth it because that's a brand new figure.
And I probably mentioned this before, but when the very first G.I. Joe that we ever got, my brother Doug got Breaker in 1982. Mm-hmm. And the reason that my brother wanted him, because he was the army man with the brown beard. Mm-hmm. My dad was in the army, and he had a brown beard. So we kind of always associated Breaker with my dad. So to get another version of Breaker who reminds me of my dad, it's pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, good figure. All right. Next one.
Let's go with
Monkey Wrench.
Monkey Wrench, the Big Lebowski.
Is that how you see him?
Yeah, I kind of get that. Right away, I'm going to complain about the glasses.
Yeah.
I've seen other classified figures have the little peg holes that you can stick it in. This guy doesn't appear to have that. And they just kind of sit there awkwardly. I'm always terrified of my things falling down, and these are the kind of accessory that can get lost or stepped on.
If he falls off a shelf, those glasses are going to go
going somewhere, and you're not finding them again. Other than that, kind of cool. Did he have those tears in his jeans?
Yeah, I believe so. This looks pretty faithful to the vintage toy.
I remember there being something different about the shades of the jeans from all the other Dreadnoks.
Well, see, the thing about him, which is Monkey Wrench always kind of felt like an odd man out to me, because Zartan came out, and Zartan, they established that he was the leader of the Dreadnoks, which was a biker gang. Mm-hmm. And the first three Dreadnoks, Torch, Ripper, and Buzzer, they all came out at the exact same time, and they all wore a cohesive outfit where they wore these bright blue jeans. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they all had different tops and different hairstyles and stuff. But the fact that they all wore the same pants, they looked very cohesive, and they appeared a lot in the cartoons. They kind of were played for comic relief in the cartoons because they were kind of bumbling idiots. Mm-hmm. They appeared in the comic books a lot. And then as the years went on, Hasbro continued to add more Dreadnoks. So we got like Road Pig, who we already have in Classified. We got Nagahide, who we already have here. There was Thrasher, who drives the Thunder Machine, and he looks like somebody out of like a Mad Max movie. Mm-hmm. Then there was Zanzibar, who had a big long ponytail, of real hair ponytail that came off the top of his head. We don't have him yet in Classified. But every Dreadnought that came later all had a very unique look. But Monkey Wrench, he looks like he belongs with the first three. Because he just has kind of a classic biker guy, and he's got those same blue jeans that the original three had. So it's almost like they were going to maybe continue all the Dreadnoks to have a similar vibe, but then they said, you know what, let's make them go outrageous.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he's kind of an odd man out because he doesn't really belong with the original three, but he doesn't really fit in with everybody that came later. So yeah, I always kind of felt bad for Monkey Wrench. He just kind of felt a little extra. But I did have the original figure when I was a kid. I liked him quite a bit. He's had some cool update versions over the years. Yeah, this is quite nice. My biggest complaint is the sunglasses. Because he has an alternate. It's not even an alternate head. He's got a weird alternate hair. So he's one of these things where you can pop his hair off.
Yeah.
And he's got another set of hair that's got these weird gas mask are sort of attached to the hair. And there's goggles attached to that, and they're permanently affixed. I kind of wish, why didn't you...
Why not just do it with this?
Yeah, make the glasses either lock into place or give me an alternate head with the glasses on. Because I like that his glasses can come off, but if I had to do one or the other, because Buzzer is another guy who always had glasses. My Buzzer is on display without glasses, which seems weird because he always had
the glasses.
He's always had them, but they fall off of him so badly. At the moment, his glasses are sitting on his face okay. It doesn't look too bad. But if they start falling off and going crooked or something, then I'll probably just take them off permanently, and then he won't look like the vintage figure anymore. So, Anyway, I think this is a pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm sold on this one.
Yeah, I'm glad we got him. Better late than never. Now,
Who would be next in the?
well, I think Thrasher would be the next one. He was a fan favorite too because he was featured pretty prominently in the cartoons. But where he drives the Thunder Machine, I wouldn't be surprised if they're holding out for a HasLab. Which that could be, even though I wasn't even a big fan of the Thunder Machine itself.
It's cool.
It's cool, but I feel if they do some other Dreadnoks, because there's a couple like lesser Dreadnoks, like Zartan's daughter Zanya. There's another female Dreadnok named Heartbreaker. There was another guy that came with a motorcycle in the Forest line called, I think, Storm Rider, and he had like a white mohawk. Those guys aren't well known, and I don't know if they would make it into classified line on their own.
Right.
But if they did a HasLab with Thrasher and the Thunder Machine, and they gave you like Heartbreaker and Zanya, and like I would have to buy that just to get all the figures.
I might even too because I like the Thunder Machine.
Yeah. So, and then I said there's also Zanzibar. He's the other probably most noticeable one that we're missing. But he came with a little skiff, like a little flying vehicle, like a one-man flying vehicle. I wouldn't be surprised if they put that out similar to the glider or the bunker.
Yeah, or the Trouble Bubble.
So like, $100 set or something.
Of course.
All right, we are quickly running out of time, so let's step on the gas here. We just got this one this week. Yeah, you just got them over there, don't you?
Yep, I have them over here.
Yeah, like this is, as I buy these things, I give them to Chad as I see them, but there's 3 figures over there. Which actually, why don't we jump in for a bit? So you've got your Snake Eyes and you've got your Monkey Wrench that I'm just giving you today, but you've got another figure over there.
Yes.
So maybe we'll just quickly divert to talk about that. So I ordered us this guy here. This is Major Blood. I got them here, and I'm just giving you yours now. But before I opened mine up, I was looking at him, and he's cool. I think he's better than the other version we got, but the only difference is they've added that like red paint.
Yeah.
The red paint helps break up the sculpt and makes them a little bit more interesting to look at. But there's no new sculpting that I can tell. Barely any paint changes. And this is one of those things where I'm like, this thing cost me like $36. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I'm not opposed to having another version of Major Blood on my shelf when they eventually make one with a different sculpt or something, but I don't feel I needed this guy.
Well, we also thought it was supposed to be a retro card too when they were...
Yeah. But he's not a retro card, and they probably will do a retro card later, in which case he'll have like smoother, simpler armor. He'll probably have a more traditional eye patch instead of that like kind of mechanical eye patch he's got there or whatever. I hope they do a retro card, and maybe they'll even do like Major Blood had a couple different variations in the vintage line where he wore a blue outfit at one point and stuff. If they do those outfits, I'd buy them. But this one here, it was hard for me to return it because I am kind of a completist, but it's just...
I can see why you would have returned it, though. I don't even know a lot about it, and I know there's not that much difference.
I think the only reason they did it is because Major Blood, he's a core character.
Yeah.
And the original version was part of the Target exclusive Cobra Island set, which were very hard for us to track down, and for a lot of people. So I like that they were probably throwing those people a bone and saying, we're not going to re-release that exact figure, but we'll paint it a little bit, change it up a little bit, and we'll put it out as a wide release now. Everybody can get it. But I don't think it was necessarily intended for guys like us that already have the first one. Right. We didn't need to buy it again. So I'm a little jealous that you have it, but I'm happy to have my $36 back too.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you.
Yeah. All right, so jumping ahead to Snake Eyes. Now, oddly enough, I'll call this Snake Eyes version 4, but really I think this is probably our like
version 8.
Yeah, this is probably like the 8th or 9th Snake Eyes in the classified line. But based on the vintage action figure line, version 1 Snake Eyes was the Commando, version 2 was the Ninja, version 3, which we actually don't have a version of in the classified yet, he had kind of these gray goggles and he had spinning nunchucks. Version 4 was this blue Snake Eyes with the red goggles. So here we are with an updated version of blue Snake Eyes version 4.
I like this one.
Me too.
I can't remember all the versions, but this is more of a Commando version, right?
Yeah, that goes back to his Commando look with the goggles and the breather there instead of the visor, which we usually associate with the Ninja look. Not that ninjas wear visors, but that's Snake Eyes does.
I like
So-
the Japanese lettering and stuff on his shin guards.
Yeah.
Or arm guards. Shins are on your legs. Yeah, like this is a pretty solid figure. I love my Snake Eyes.
Me too. I do find it a little odd for this to be basically a commando version of Snake Eyes. I feel he's almost wearing like tights. Like even
Yeah.
like the way his shoes look,
Yeah.
he's got those little like socks with the
Yeah.
toe indent. So it's like he's wearing spandex or something, which I don't think necessarily looks bad. But when he's in commando mode, you associate him more with combat
Yeah.
boots and like pouches and jackets and stuff. So yeah, this is kind of a weird mashup, but I like it. I think because we have so many Snake Eyes, like I'm looking at them over there, and it's just this hunk of black.
There's like and then there's the desert Snake
there's
Eyes.
the desert one, and sometimes he has like brown pants or something,
Yeah.
but it's pretty dark. All those Snake Eyes are pretty black, and Snake Eyes should be mostly
Yeah.
black, but it is kind of nice to get a colorful variation, and this one looks pretty cool. I have the vintage version 4, but I didn't have it as a kid. I kind of didn't like this look as a kid because I thought like Snake Eyes is black. You don't need them in blue and red or whatever. But yeah, I've grown to appreciate this look. All right, 2 more. Grab one. So this is Law and Order. Yeah, I like this set.
Yeah, the set's really nice. I enjoy the animals that they give us. Like they put a lot of thought into the articulation, the face sculpts, because this guy's got an angry face and the tongue out face, right?
Yeah, these 2 heads. So sometimes with the other dog, we got like on the wolf, we had like a scowling face,
like Mutton Junkyard.
but he doesn't really. He's got kind of a barking face. I wouldn't necessarily call it an angry face. But then he's got the happy tongue out face too.
And like the thought they put into these things.
He's also got like a
fully articulated. He's got
like a helmet.
Yeah, like a hat helmet.
Yeah, a little dog hat, which I haven't put on yet, but it fits around his ears and
like that's so cool.
Yeah.
And the little bulletproof vest, the bulletproof handler vest for him. Like that's just super cool.
Yeah, I had Law and Order as a kid. And I have all the updates that came in the 4-inch line and everything too. I've always really liked him. I liked him in the cartoon. He was introduced in the movie that we talked about. So I don't know if he appeared in the Deke series afterwards because I haven't really watched much of the Deke series at all. But yeah, I like the voice actor and everything. The kind of accent they gave him in the movie and everything. Yeah, and like I said, the original Law, he had a removable helmet and everything, so you can see his face and his hair and stuff. But these guys here at the 6-inch scale, there's just so much more detail in his face and his hair and stuff. He just looks, again, more like a real person. He looks good. I like this head sculpt.
Is that a Duke face?
It's a Law face.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think that's the thing. In the vintage line, they reused faces and heads.
Yeah.
But this is a unique head sculpt.
Maybe not. Yeah, with the helmet on a little, it did kind of look like that. But yep, definitely unique. I like the color scheme on this.
Yeah, and it came with like a nightstick and handcuffs and like anything else you would want your military police officer to come with.
Are the handcuffs sculpted into the backpack, or
He's got a pair sculpted on his belt. Then he also has a pair that's
okay.
I don't think
they're loose.
I don't think you can use them functionally though. I don't think you could put them on a Cobra or anything. Anyway, they're my little bag of goodies. So I think you could probably hang them off of his wrist or something. I don't know if you could do much else with these. But yeah. Maybe if you took the figure's hands off, you could maybe put a Cobra on there and have him cuffed. But anyway. So we'll move on to the next one. This is the Frag Viper. For me, I love this figure. Mm-hmm. This is an unexpected surprise. Because I always thought the Frag Viper kind of sucked before. This, I think, is awesome. He's got a removable helmet, but I don't even care about that. That's not the best part about him. I just love his new sculpt. Like, he looks so big and bulky and menacing now. Like, the original Frag Viper, he came out pretty late in the line. I think it was 89 or something. Maybe 88. But My G.I. Joe collecting was kind of winding down near the end of the 80s. And this guy, his gimmick was that he launched grenades with a Jai scoop. And his outfit was really weird. He has this big alien-looking bug helmet, oversized helmet, but then his body looked like he was wearing a potato sack. He was wearing this brown outfit, and you could see sculpted stitching on it, like in weird places. Like it looked like something Tim Burton would design, like random stitches everywhere. And then he had a weird purple or blue sash. So it's like, okay, a guy in a potato sack and a sash, like he's Miss America, and then he's got this bug helmet. I was like, what is this guy's deal? And then when they remade the Frag Viper in the 4-inch line, they used a Snake Eyes body that was really skinny and had like spandex. So now he was wearing like a brown unitard with the sash, and he had these little ankle boots, which looked really bad. And again, just odd proportions. So every previous version of the Frag Viper has been lame as hell. And this guy comes out,
and he's not,
and he rules.
Yeah, I love this helmet.
Yeah,
just looks like a huge sci-fi bug. I forgot that was like a grenade launcher. I thought it was like one of those scopes that they slide under doors.
Now, so you'll see he's got a grenade with a trail of smoke attached to it that plugs into it. Because he's supposed to biff them.
Yeah. It's like a lacrosse.
Well, yeah, it's like a game in India, Jai.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's ever been used in combat in any way. I don't know how Hasbro came up with that, but yeah, it's just the look of the character. I don't really care about the gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got that big hose. In the vintage toy, again, sometimes the hoses were just little teeny wires, but now it's like this big, thick thing. It makes his gun look a little bit more intense. The fact that his helmet comes off, it's strange because like underneath he looks dead.
Mm-hmm.
He's got this zombie face underneath, like his white yellowy skin with his eyes are like red. Like he looks inhuman, which I never thought of these guys as any sort of like zombie trooper. I don't think their file cards ever alluded to anything like that, so it seems like an odd choice. I don't hate it necessarily, but I'm going to keep him with his helmet on.
Absolutely.
So whatever.
The helmet makes the figure.
Yeah. It's a really, really nice figure. Anyway, we are over an hour. Probably.
Not by much, though.
Yeah, especially if I edit out my sister's phone call in the middle of that. But anyway, we should wrap things up.
Sure. Okay, I'll take it away. Thanks again for watching. Nice to be back. Sorry for the hiatus. Things just got super busy for me. Hoping they wind down now, and maybe we'll get some relief on the toy situation too. Definitely didn't expect to have this many Joes come out like pretty much all at once since
and there's like lots
end of
more
July.
coming.
Yeah, there's at least 3 that are within the next. Because you have pending charges, right?
Well, plus we've got from Hasbro, we have the snake armor, and we have Slice and Dice, the Ninja 2-pack that are due soon. The Snake Eyes with the polar bears due soon. The retro card Flint, Cover Girl, and Bat are coming up. So there's a lot more Joes. Coming.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah. So
get
back to work soon.
That aside, if you liked the video, you enjoyed what we talked about, make sure to like, subscribe, leave us some comments. We always love chatting with you. What were your favorite figures out of this lot that we had?
Yeah.
Definitely Battle Armoured Cobra Commander for me, just because of all the nostalgia feels.
Oh man, I'd be hard pressed to pick a favorite here today, but
because he's been on my list for so long.
Yeah. It might be Frag Viper.
Yeah.
I like the divers. I like the firemen. A lot of good
They're all
ones.
solid.
Yeah.
They're all solid, except for maybe the couple that you didn't like. But
and even they weren't bad.
They're not terrible. It's just they're not necessary.
Not must-haves. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching. Ciao.
Keep collecting.